The John Rylands Library is in which English city? Manchester. The John Rylands Library is a distinguished Victorian Gothic building in Manchester, England, forming part of the University of Manchester Library. It is renowned for its extensive collection of rare books, manuscripts, and archives, including the oldest known fragment of the New Testament. What color is the pigment lycopene? Red. Lycopene is a bright red carotenoid pigment and phytochemical found abundantly in tomatoes and other red fruits and vegetables. It is a powerful antioxidant, studied for its potential health benefits, particularly its role in heart health and cancer prevention. What class of creature is a scorpion? Arachnid. Scorpions belong to the class Arachnida, which also encompasses spiders, ticks, and mites. These arthropods are characterized by having 8 legs, an exoskeleton, and a segmented tail typically culminating in a venomous stinger. In which English county is Chilham Castle? Kent. Chilham Castle is a historic country house located in the village of Chilham, Kent, England. It features a unique polygonal keep dating from the 12th century and a Jacobean mansion completed in 1616, making it a significant example of English architectural and historical heritage. In which year was the Metropolitan Police Service established in London? 1829. The Metropolitan Police Service, commonly known as the Met Police, was established by Robert Peel in 1829. It serves as the primary law enforcement agency for Greater London, excluding the City of London. Petrography is the study of what? Rocks. Petrography is a branch of petrology that focuses on the detailed description and classification of rocks. It involves microscopic examination of thin sections of rocks to understand their mineral composition, texture, and origin. The Watergate complex is in which area of Washington, D.C.? Foggy Bottom. The Watergate complex is a group of buildings in Washington, D.C., located in the Foggy Bottom neighborhood. It gained infamy as the site of the 1972 Democratic National Committee headquarters break-in, which led to the Watergate scandal and President Richard Nixon's resignation. Mefloquine is used for the treatment of what? Malaria. Mefloquine is an anti-malarial drug used for the prevention and treatment of malaria, particularly in areas where other drugs are ineffective. It acts by interfering with the growth and reproduction of malaria parasites in the red blood cells. What historic region of Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Montenegro, gave its name to a dog breed with a striking appearance? Dalmatia. Dalmatia is a historic region on the eastern coast of the Adriatic Sea, encompassing parts of modern-day Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Montenegro. This region is the historical origin of the Dalmatian dog breed, renowned for its distinctive spotted coat. Appropriately, a giant what was put temporarily onto the fourth plinth at London's Trafalgar Square in May 2010? Ship in a bottle. The fourth plinth in Trafalgar Square, London, hosts a rotating commission of contemporary art. In May 2010, Yinka Shonibez, Nelson's Ship in a Bottle, a replica of HMS Victory with sails made of African textiles, was installed. This piece explores themes of British imperial history and multiculturalism. In March 2010, artist Spencer Tunick arranged and photographed 5,200 watt in front of Sydney Opera House. Naked People. In March 2010, American artist Spencer Tunick orchestrated a large-scale art installation involving 5,200 nude participants in front of the Sydney Opera House. Tunick is renowned for his photographic works featuring mass nude gatherings in public spaces, challenging perceptions of public and private spheres. The Janka hardness test is used for which substance? Wood. The Janka hardness test measures the resistance of a sample of wood to denting and wear. It quantifies the force required to embed an 11.28 mm, 0.444 inch, steel ball halfway into a piece of wood. This test is crucial for classifying and selecting wood for various applications, especially flooring. Who were the candidates in the UK Labour Party's 2010 leadership contest, and in what order did they finish? Ed Miliband, winner, David Miliband, second, Ed Balls, third, Andy Burnham, fourth, Diane Abbott, fifth. The UK Labour Party's 2010 leadership contest followed the party's general election defeat. Ed Miliband narrowly won, succeeding Gordon Brown and defeating his elder brother, David Miliband. This contest was a significant event in British political history, shaping the party's direction for the subsequent years. Derived from a French word meaning, to brood or hatch, what term refers to a male phantom or sympathetic pregnancy syndrome in response to a wife or partner's real pregnancy? Kuwade. Kuwade is a phenomenon where a male partner experiences symptoms of pregnancy or childbirth while his partner is pregnant. These symptoms can be psychological or psychosomatic, including weight gain, nausea, and abdominal pain, reflecting a strong empathetic connection to the pregnant partner. What is the third angle in a triangle if the other two are each 60 degrees? 60 degrees. The sum of the interior angles in any Euclidean triangle is always 180 degrees. If two angles of a triangle are each 60 degrees, their sum is 120 degrees, leaving the remaining 60 degrees for the third angle. This specific configuration defines an equilateral triangle, where all three angles and sides are equal. What traditional profession specializes in the assessment of costs and tenders for materials and contracts within building and construction projects? Quantity surveyor. A quantity surveyor is a professional who manages the financial aspects of construction projects. Their role involves estimating costs, preparing tender and contract documents, and providing financial advice to clients throughout the construction life cycle to ensure projects are completed within budget. What term did US Southerners use for a Northerner who moved to the South during the 1860s to 70s to exploit opportunities in the Reconstruction era, and which word today refers to an opportunistic investor, especially when a mutual society converts into a public commercial company? Carpetbagger. During the American Reconstruction era, 1865 to 1877, carpetbagger was a pejorative term for Northerners who migrated to the southern states. These individuals were often perceived as opportunistic outsiders seeking personal gain from the post-Civil War instability. The term has since broadened to describe any opportunistic or exploitative individual, particularly in financial contexts. Who invented roll camera film, thereby popularizing photography, and founded the Kodak Company, whose full title also bears his name? George Eastman. George Eastman was an American entrepreneur and innovator who transformed photography with his invention of roll film. He founded the Eastman Kodak Company in 1888, making cameras and photography accessible to the masses and significantly contributing to its widespread adoption as both an art form and a practical tool. Composed in 1907, the Soldier's Song was formally adopted in 1926 as the national anthem of which European country? Ireland. Amran na Bhfi An, known as The Soldier's Song, in English, was composed by Patrick Heaney in 1907 and formally adopted as the national anthem of Ireland in 1926. It symbolizes Irish independence and national identity. The Mills bomb, developed in Birmingham in 1915, and produced in numbers exceeding 70 million since then, is more commonly known by what term? Hand grenade. The Mills bomb was the standard hand grenade of the British Army during World War I and was extensively used throughout the 20th century. Its development marked a significant advancement in infantry weaponry, providing soldiers with a portable explosive device. An ammeter measures electrical what? Current. An ammeter is an instrument used to measure the electric current in a circuit. It is always connected in series with the circuit component through which the current is to be measured, and it has a very low internal resistance to minimize its impact on the circuit. The Sumer and Arakawa are two main rivers of which capital city? Tokyo. The Sumer River and Arakawa River are significant waterways flowing through Tokyo, the capital city of Japan. These rivers have played crucial roles in the city's development, transportation, and culture, influencing its geography and urban planning. Anthracite is a type of what? Coal. Anthracite is the highest rank of coal, known for its high carbon content and low volatile matter. It burns cleanly with a hot, blue flame, making it a desirable fuel for various industrial and domestic heating applications. The Pacific Ocean covers approximately what percentage of the Earth's surface? 30%. The Pacific Ocean is the largest and deepest of Earth's oceanic divisions, covering approximately 30% of the planet's surface and containing more than half of the free water on Earth. Its vastness significantly influences global climate and biodiversity. New France was the name given to French colonized lands in which continent from the 16th–18th centuries? North America. New France comprised the areas colonized by France in North America during the period from the 16th to the 18th centuries. Its territory, which included parts of present-day Canada and the central United States, played a significant role in early colonial history before much of it was ceded to Great Britain. Sabena was which country's national airline? Belgium. Sabena was the national airline of Belgium from 1923 until its bankruptcy in 2001. Its history is intertwined with the development of Belgian aviation and its role in connecting Belgium to international destinations. Who founded the luxury food brand Dutchy Originals, which reported significant losses in 2010? Prince Charles, now King Charles III. Dutchy Originals is an organic food and drink brand established by King Charles III, then Prince Charles, in 1990. The brand focuses on organic produce, and its profits are typically donated to the prince's charitable causes, making its financial performance relevant to understanding royal philanthropic ventures and business ethics. What significant role did Sir Robert Mark hold in England from 1967 to 1977, before his passing in September 2010 at age 93? Metropolitan Police Commissioner. Sir Robert Mark was a highly influential Metropolitan Police Commissioner known for his significant reforms and efforts to combat corruption within the force. His tenure marked a crucial period in the modernization and professionalization of policing in the United Kingdom. Saint Pegger is traditionally regarded as England's first female what? Hermit. Saint Pegger was an Anglo-Saxon anchoress and sister of Saint Gutluck, who founded Croyland Abbey. She is historically recognized as one of England's earliest female hermits, living a life of solitude and devotion, contributing to early Christian ascetic traditions in Britain. What is the name of the mountain in California on which the iconic Hollywood sign is located? Mount Lee. The Hollywood sign, a prominent cultural landmark, is situated on Mount Lee in the Santa Monica Mountains Range, Los Angeles, California. This location offers a panoramic view of the city and has become synonymous with the global film industry. In which country is the Nafud Desert primarily located? Saudi Arabia. The Nafud Desert is a significant sandy desert located in the northern part of the Arabian Peninsula. Characterized by its crescent-shaped dunes and reddish sands, it is one of the major deserts of Saudi Arabia, along with the Rub al Khali. Which gemstone is traditionally associated with the 45th wedding anniversary in the UK and US? Sapphire. The sapphire is traditionally designated as the gemstone for a 45th wedding anniversary, symbolizing wisdom, loyalty, and fidelity. This association with specific materials for anniversaries is a long-standing cultural tradition, with each material representing different qualities or stages of a marriage. Approximately how many seconds are there in a standard year? 31.5 million, or 31,536,000. A standard year has 365 days. To calculate the number of seconds, one multiplies 365 days times 24 hours per day times 60 minutes per hour times 60 seconds per minute, which equals 31,536,000 seconds. This is approximately 31.5 million seconds, a fundamental unit of time conversion. Anthomania refers to an intense love or obsession with what? Flowers. Anthomania is derived from the Greek word, anthos, meaning flower, and mania, meaning madness or obsession. It describes an excessive passion or love for flowers, often implying an unusually strong interest in their cultivation, collection, or study. What type of creature is a mamicho? Fish. A mamicho, Fundulus heteroclitus, is a small, robust killifish species native to the Atlantic coast of North America. Known for its remarkable tolerance to extreme variations in salinity, temperature, and oxygen levels, it is a crucial species in estuarine ecosystems and a subject of extensive scientific research. Tahiti is the largest of which group of islands? Society Islands. Tahiti is the largest island in French Polynesia, located in the Society Islands archipelago in the Central Pacific Ocean. It is known for its volcanic landscapes and black sand beaches. In which year was the National Health Service established in Great Britain? 1948. The National Health Service, NHS, was established in Great Britain in 1948 under the Labour government, primarily by Aneurin Bevan. It provided universal healthcare, free at the point of use, funded by general taxation. In 1919, which country became the first to legalize abortion? Russia. Russia, specifically the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic, became the first country in the world to legalize abortion on demand in 1920. This landmark legislation was part of broader social reforms and preceded similar laws in other nations. Name the French bank controversially exonerated in the 2010 trial of its employee rogue trader Jérôme Kerville, who was imprisoned for, and fined, the 4.9 billion euros he lost in 2008 futures trading? Société Générale. Société Générale is a major French multinational investment bank and financial services company. It gained significant global attention due to the Jérôme Kerville trading scandal in 2008, where unauthorized trading resulted in a 4.9 billion euros loss for the bank. What is the name of the hook which forms on the lower jaw of the male salmon during the breeding season? Kype. The kype is a distinctive hooked jaw that develops on the lower jaw of male salmon during the breeding season, particularly in species like Atlantic and Pacific salmon. This morphological change is a secondary sexual characteristic used in territorial disputes and mating rituals. Which monarch was the first Supreme Governor of the Church of England? Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I was declared the Supreme Governor of the Church of England by the Act of Supremacy in 1559. This act firmly re-established the English monarch's authority over the Church, following her father Henry VIII's initial break from Rome. Permalloy is made from which two metallic chemical elements? Nickel and iron. Permalloy is a nickel-iron magnetic alloy, typically containing around 80% nickel and 20% iron. It is renowned for its very high magnetic permeability and low coercivity, making it valuable for applications requiring magnetic shielding and as a magnetic core material. The American Academy of Arts and Sciences was founded in which U.S. city? Boston. The American Academy of Arts and Sciences was founded in Boston in 1780 during the American Revolution by prominent leaders such as John Adams and James Borden. It is one of the oldest learned societies in the United States, dedicated to fostering knowledge and public service. Mock turtle soup is traditionally made from the head of a calf. Mock turtle soup is a traditional Victorian-era dish designed to mimic the taste and texture of the expensive green turtle soup. It is characteristically made using a calf's head to achieve a similar gelatinous consistency and rich flavor. If something is fluviatile, it is produced or found in a river. The term fluviatile pertains to things produced by or found in a river. It is commonly used in geology and geography to describe deposits, landforms, or processes associated with rivers and streams. A deuteragonist is second in importance in a Greek tragedy. A deuteragonist is the second most important character, after the protagonist, in a play, novel, or other narrative. This term originated from ancient Greek theatre, particularly in the context of Greek tragedies, where roles were often highly structured. The lempirer is the basic monetary unit of which Central American country? Honduras. The Honduran lempirer, HNL, is the official currency of Honduras, named after Lempiera, a 16th-century cacique, local chief, of the Lenca people who led a revolt against Spanish conquerors. The currency symbol is L. The Odense River is in which European country? Denmark. The Odense River is located on the island of Funen in Denmark, flowing through the city of Odense. It is a relatively small but historically significant river for the region. Name the mine in Copiapó, Chile, where 33 miners were trapped after a collapse on the 5th of August 2010. San Jose. The San Jose mine, located near Copiapó, Chile, was the site of a major mine collapse on August 5, 2010, which trapped 33 miners 700 meters underground for 69 days. The successful rescue operation garnered worldwide attention. In 1760, Belgian inventor Joseph Merlin patented which item of footwear? Roller skates. In 1760, Joseph Merlin, a Belgian inventor, is credited with patenting the first roller skates. He famously introduced them at a masquerade ball in London, though his initial design was somewhat unwieldy. The resort of Saint-Tropez is in which department of France? Var. Saint-Tropez is a coastal town in the Var department of the Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur region in southeastern France. It is renowned for its vibrant nightlife, beaches, and is a popular destination for the international jet set. American mathematician Norbert Wiener, 1894–1964, coined what scientific term concerning complex systems, and helped define its modern understanding? Cybernetics. Norbert Wiener, an American mathematician, is credited with coining the term cybernetics in 1948. Cybernetics is an interdisciplinary field concerned with the study of regulatory and purposeful systems, including their structure, constraints, and possibilities. When steel is galvanized, it is most commonly coated by what? Zinc. Galvanization is the process of applying a protective zinc coating to steel or iron to prevent rusting. This is achieved by creating a barrier layer of zinc that acts as a sacrificial anode, meaning the zinc corrodes preferentially to the iron. What element, with zirconium, forms the compound zirconia, which is used to make synthetic diamonds? Oxygen. Zirconia, or zirconium dioxide, zirconium oxide, is a ceramic material formed by zirconium and oxygen. It is widely used as a synthetic diamond simulant due to its exceptional hardness, durability, and brilliance. This material is also valued in dentistry and industrial applications for its strength. What characterized the Neolithic age? Stone tools. The Neolithic age, often referred to as the New Stone Age, marked a pivotal period in human history. It is primarily characterized by the development and widespread use of polished stone tools, which were more refined than those of the preceding Paleolithic era. This period also saw the emergence of agriculture, permanent settlements, and the domestication of animals, leading to profound societal changes. What British institution, originating in the 12th century, was planned to be turned into a mutual or cooperative, according to government announcements in 2010? The Post Office. In 2010, the UK government announced plans for a significant structural reform of the Post Office, proposing its conversion into a mutual or cooperative. This strategic move aimed to secure the institution's long-term future and give greater ownership to its employees and communities. The Post Office has a rich history, with its origins tracing back to the 12th century, serving as a fundamental part of British infrastructure and public service. What name, in English, was given to the capsule which brought the 33 Chilean miners to the surface in the San Jose rescue on the 13th of October 2010? Phoenix. The custom-built rescue capsule used to extract the 33 trapped Chilean miners in 2010 was named Phoenix. This name symbolized rebirth and hope, reflecting the miraculous nature of the rescue operation. The successful extraction of all miners after 69 days underground captivated global attention and stands as a testament to international cooperation and engineering ingenuity. Meaning literally, make like, what is the full Latin word from which fax derives, as in fax machine? Facsimile. The term fax is an abbreviation of facsimile, a word derived from the Latin phrase facsimile, which literally means make similar. A facsimile machine, or fax machine, is a telecommunications device that transmits and receives copies of documents. It electronically scans a document and sends its image over a telephone line to another fax machine. According to Greek legend, the labyrinth built by architect Daedalus housed which monster? The Minotaur. In Greek mythology, the legendary labyrinth, an intricate and inescapable maze designed by the brilliant architect Daedalus, was constructed for King Minos of Crete. Its primary purpose was to imprison the Minotaur, a fearsome creature with the head and tail of a bull and the body of a man. This mythical beast was fed human sacrifices, highlighting the darker aspects of ancient Greek legends. Sir Thomas Sopwith designed what famous British biplane fighter aircraft, whose name combined his own name with an animal? Sopwith Camel. The Sopwith Camel was an iconic British single-seat biplane fighter aircraft of the First World War, designed by the Sopwith Aviation Company, founded by Sir Thomas Sopwith. Its name is a combination of the designer's company and the distinctive hump-like fairing over its twin Vickers machine guns, resembling a camel's hump. Renowned for its superb maneuverability, the Sopwith Camel was one of the most successful fighter aircraft of the war. What type of wartime field gun took its name originally from the Old Czech word, loosely, hofnice, meaning catapult? Howitzer. A howitzer is a type of artillery piece characterized by a relatively short barrel and its ability to fire projectiles in a high, arcing trajectory, making it effective for striking targets behind obstacles. The name, howitzer, originates from the Old Czech word, hofnice, which referred to a catapult or a light cannon used in the 15th century. This etymology highlights the historical development of artillery from early siege weapons. What is a brief period of time and a turning effect produced by a force? Moment. A moment, also known as torque, is the rotational equivalent of linear force, measuring the tendency of a force to rotate an object about an axis. It is calculated as the product of the force and the perpendicular distance from the pivot to the line of action of the force, signifying angular acceleration. Permanent software programmed into a read-only memory is generally called what, where? Firmware. Firmware is a specific class of computer software that provides low-level control for a device's specific hardware. It is often stored in non-volatile memory like ROM or flash memory, making it persistent even without power. Firmware is essential for the basic operation and control of embedded systems and various electronic devices. People born approximately between 1980 and the mid-1990s, sometimes called echo boomers, are more commonly referred to as Generation what? Y. Generation Y, widely known as millennials, refers to the demographic cohort typically born between the early 1980s and mid-1990s. This generation is often characterized by its familiarity with digital technology, social media, and distinctive approaches to work, family, and societal issues, heavily influenced by the Internet age. Used especially in marketing and consumer profiling, what is the study of the size, structure, development, and dispersal of human populations? Demography. Demography is the statistical study of human populations, examining their size, structure, distribution, and the processes influencing their change over time. It analyzes factors like birth, death, migration, and aging, providing critical insights for public policy, economic planning, and social research. What term, common in fantasy games, also refers to the three wise men in the Bible? Magi. The Magi were a group of foreign wise men, often translated as kings or astrologers, who visited Jesus after his birth bearing gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Their journey to Bethlehem, as chronicled in the Gospel of Matthew, is a significant event in Christian tradition, symbolizing the recognition of Christ by the Gentile world. In which city is Antillia, the 27-story residential property, home to one of the world's richest persons, located? Mumbai. Antillia is a prominent private residence located in Mumbai, India, owned by Mukesh Ambani, a leading Indian business magnate. This towering 27-story building is renowned for its immense scale, luxurious amenities, and distinctive architectural design, making it a significant landmark and a symbol of extreme wealth in India. What number is neutral on the pH acid-alkali scale? 7. The pH scale measures the acidity or alkalinity of a solution, ranging from 0 to 14. A pH of 7 signifies a neutral solution, indicating an equal balance of hydrogen and hydroxide ions. Solutions below pH 7 are acidic, while those above pH 7 are basic or alkaline. How many microns are in a meter? 1 million. A micron, also known as a micrometer, micro-m, is a unit of length in the metric system equal to 1/1,000,000th of a meter, 10⁻⁻⁶ meters. This unit is commonly used to measure microscopic distances, such as the size of cells, bacteria, or the wavelength of infrared radiation, due to its minute scale. In Gustav Holst's orchestral suite, The Planets, which planet from our solar system is conspicuously absent? Earth. Gustav Holst's renowned orchestral suite, The Planets, composed between 1914 and 1916, features 7 movements, each named after a planet and its astrological character. Conspicuously, Earth is not included, as the suite focuses on mythological associations rather than a comprehensive astronomical listing. Lake Banyuls, the venue for the 1992 Olympic rowing events, is located in which country? Spain. Lake Banyuls is a natural lake located in the province of Girona, Catalonia, Spain. It gained international prominence as the site for the rowing competitions during the 1992 Summer Olympics held in Barcelona. Jomo Kenyatta became the first president of which African country in 1964? Kenya. Jomo Kenyatta was a prominent Kenyan anti-colonial activist and politician who played a significant role in Kenya's struggle for independence from British rule. He became the first president of Kenya in 1964, leading the nation until his death in 1978. What chemical element constitutes a pure diamond? Carbon. A pure diamond is an allotrope of carbon, meaning it is one of the forms in which carbon can exist. Its atoms are arranged in a crystal structure called a diamond cubic, which gives it its exceptional hardness and brilliance. Excluding minor variations due to temperature and air pressure, what is the metric weight of 1 liter, 1000 cubic centimeters, of water? 1 kilogram. By definition, 1 liter of pure water at its maximum density, approximately 4 degrees Celsius and standard atmospheric pressure has a mass of almost exactly 1 kilogram. This fundamental relationship forms the basis of the metric system's definition of mass. What item, usually made of wood, securely holds a set of spirit decanters and is named after a mythical Greek king who was condemned to stand surrounded by unreachable water and fruit? Tantalus. A tantalus is a lockable cabinet, typically wooden, designed to secure decanters of alcoholic spirits while keeping them visible. It is named after Tantalus, a figure from Greek mythology, who was punished by being made to stand in a pool of water under a fruit tree, both of which receded whenever he tried to drink or eat, symbolizing tempting but unreachable desires. What type of animal is a markhor, the national animal of Pakistan? Goat. The markhor is a large species of wild goat native to Central Asia, the Himalayas, and the Karakoram Mountains. It is Pakistan's national animal and is known for its distinctive spiraling horns. In geological classification, what granular term is between silt and gravel? Sand. In geological classification, sediment particles are categorized by size. Sand particles typically range from 0.0625 mm to 2 mm in diameter, placing them between finer silt and coarser gravel. William Van Allen designed which New York building, the tallest brick building in the world in 1930? The Chrysler Building. The Chrysler Building, an iconic Art Deco skyscraper in New York City, was designed by William Van Allen. Completed in 1930, it briefly held the title of the world's tallest building and remains a significant example of architectural history. Opened in 1998, accessible usually only by air, and continually in permafrost, the EKATI diamond mine is in which country? Canada. The EKATI diamond mine, Canada's first operational diamond mine, opened in 1998 in the Northwest Territories. Located in a remote, permafrost-laden region, its operations rely heavily on air transport for supplies and personnel. In human anatomy, in which part of the body is the buccinator muscle? Cheek. The buccinator muscle is a thin, quadrilateral muscle located in the cheek. It plays a crucial role in mastication, chewing, helping to hold food between the teeth and preventing it from accumulating in the vestibule of the mouth. What is the square root of 4 million? 2000. The square root of a number is a value that, when multiplied by itself, gives the original number. For 4 million, since 2 times 2 equals 4 and 1000 times 1000 equals 1 million, the square root is 2 times 1000 equals 2000. This concept is fundamental in mathematics and quantitative aptitude. Diacetylmorphine is the technical term for which drug? Heroin. Diacetylmorphine, commonly known as heroin, is an opioid synthesized from morphine. It is a highly addictive Schedule I controlled substance known for its euphoric effects, but also its severe health risks and potential for overdose. Iapetus, also known as Japetus, is a satellite of which planet? Saturn. Iapetus is the third largest moon of Saturn, known for its distinctive two-tone coloration, with one hemisphere significantly darker than the other. It was discovered by Giovanni Domenico Cassini in 1671. Name the Panamanian military dictator who was imprisoned from 1992 to 2007 in the USA for drug trafficking, racketeering, and money laundering, and subsequently extradited to France for money laundering, leading to further imprisonment in 2010. General Manuel Noriega. General Manuel Noriega was the de facto ruler of Panama from 1983 to 1989. His regime ended with the U.S. invasion, Operation Just Cause, in December 1989, after which he was arrested and tried in the United States on drug trafficking charges. A muammo is a brightly colored dress traditionally worn by women on which island? Hawaii. A muammo is a loose dress of Hawaiian origin, often brightly patterned. It was originally introduced by Protestant missionaries in the 19th century to encourage modesty but evolved into a popular and iconic garment of Hawaiian culture. Laconia is a southern region of which European country? Greece. Laconia is a historical and administrative region in the southeastern part of the Peloponnese Peninsula in Greece. It is most famous for being the ancient homeland of the city-state of Sparta. Which poisonous gas is a major component of car exhaust fumes? Carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide, CO, is a colorless, odorless, and highly toxic gas produced by the incomplete combustion of carbon-containing fuels. When inhaled, it reduces the blood's ability to carry oxygen, leading to serious health issues or death. How many imperial gallons are equivalent to 1 imperial peck? 2. The imperial peck is an antiquated unit of dry volume, primarily used in the British imperial system. 1 imperial peck is defined as 2 imperial gallons, which translates to approximately 9.092 liters. Marisol Valles Garcia, a 20-year-old criminology undergraduate, became police chief of the drug war-torn town of Praxtis Guadalupe Guerrero in which country? Mexico. Marisol Valles Garcia gained international attention in 2010 when she accepted the role of police chief in the extremely dangerous, drug war-affected town of Praxtis Guadalupe Guerrero, Chihuahua, Mexico. Her appointment highlighted the severe challenges faced by local authorities in combating cartel violence. According to Eric Berne's transactional analysis theory, what are the 3 basic ego states of an individual? Parent, adult, child. Eric Berne's transactional analysis is a psychoanalytic theory and method of therapy focusing on social interactions. It posits that individuals operate from 3 distinct ego states, parent, adult, and child, which influence their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Who is the author of the classic novel, Treasure Island? Robert Louis Stevenson. Treasure Island is a classic adventure novel by Scottish author Robert Louis Stevenson, first serialized in 1881 to 1882 and published as a book in 1883. The story, focusing on pirates and buried gold, has significantly influenced popular perceptions of pirates. Which product was featured in the first ever television commercial broadcast in the United Kingdom in 1955? Toothpaste. The first television commercial in the UK aired on ITV on September 22, 1955. It was for Gibbs SR toothpaste, highlighting the beginning of commercial television broadcasting in the country and marking a significant shift in the advertising and media landscape. Which artist is renowned for painting a famous portrait of his mother, often titled, Whistler's Mother? James Whistler. James McNeill Whistler's iconic painting, arrangement in grey and black No. 1, commonly known as Whistler's Mother, is one of the most famous works in American art. Painted in 1871, it depicts the artist's mother, Anna McNeill Whistler, and is a masterpiece known for its solemnity and aesthetic composition. Which iconic British singer was known as the Force's sweetheart during World War II? Vera Lynn. Vera Lynn was an enduring symbol of hope and resilience for Allied forces and civilians during World War II. Her songs, such as We'll Meet Again and The White Cliffs of Dover, became anthems that boosted morale during a challenging period in history. What type of insects does a lepidopterist study or collect? Butterflies and moths. A lepidopterist is an individual who studies or collects butterflies and moths, which belong to the insect order Lepidoptera. This field is a significant branch of entomology, contributing to our understanding of biodiversity and ecological systems. In which prominent UK cathedral is the famous Whispering Gallery located? St. Paul's Cathedral. The Whispering Gallery is a unique architectural feature found within the dome of St. Paul's Cathedral in London. Due to its specific circular shape and acoustics, a whisper against its wall can be heard clearly on the opposite side, approximately 100 feet away. Blue Mountain, Cachara, and Mocha are distinct varieties of which agricultural product? Coffee. Blue Mountain, Cachara, and Mocha are prominent varieties of coffee beans, each known for its unique flavor profile and origin. Coffee is one of the world's most traded agricultural commodities, with specific varietals fetching premium prices due to their quality and rarity. What is the commonly known monkey species native to the Rock of Gibraltar? Barbary macaque, often called Barbary ape. The Barbary macaque is the only wild monkey population in Europe, found on the Rock of Gibraltar. These Old World monkeys are tailless, leading to their common misnomer as Barbary apes, and are a significant cultural and tourist attraction. In human anatomy, what is the alternative term for the trachea? Windpipe. The trachea, commonly known as the windpipe, is a crucial part of the human respiratory system. It is a cartilaginous tube that extends from the larynx, voice box, and branches into the bronchi, facilitating the passage of air to and from the lungs. What specific fear is associated with acrophobia? Heights. Acrophobia is an intense and irrational fear of heights. Individuals with acrophobia may experience significant anxiety and panic attacks when exposed to high places, even if they are objectively safe. Hever Castle, a historic double-moated castle, is located in which UK county? Kent. Hever Castle is a historic castle located in the county of Kent, England, most famous as the childhood home of Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII. The castle dates back to the 13th century and has undergone significant restoration over the centuries. What is the characteristic color of the flowers of the flax plant? Blue. The flax plant, Linum usitatissimum, is known for its delicate blue flowers, which are typically small and bloom for only a single day. This plant is cultivated globally for its seeds, linseed, which produce oil, and its fibers, which are used to make linen textiles. When is St. Patrick's Day celebrated? The 17th of March. St. Patrick's Day is a cultural and religious holiday celebrated annually on March 17th. It commemorates the death of St. Patrick, the foremost patron saint of Ireland, and is widely observed globally by the Irish diaspora. What is a village without a church called? Hamlet. A hamlet is typically defined as a small human settlement that is smaller than a village and often lacks a church or other significant public institutions. The specific definition can vary based on regional and historical contexts. In German mythology, what is the name of the siren who lived on a rock and lured boatmen to their deaths? Lorelei. Lorelei is a siren-like figure from German folklore, associated with the treacherous rock on the Rhine River. Her enchanting beauty and song were said to lure sailors to their doom, symbolizing the dangerous allure of the river. In what year were dog licenses abolished in England? 1987. Dog licenses in England were abolished in 1987. Introduced in 1796, these licenses were originally intended to generate revenue and control dog populations, but their effectiveness diminished over time. What type of leaves does a silkworm feed on? Mulberry. Silkworms, the larvae of the domestic silk moth, Bombyx mori, primarily feed on mulberry leaves. This specific diet is crucial for the production of high-quality silk, as the leaf's chemical composition directly influences the silk's properties. What type of creature is a mouthbrooder? Fish. A mouthbrooder is an animal, predominantly a type of fish, especially cichlids, that practices parental care by holding its eggs or larvae in its mouth. This behavior offers protection to the offspring from predators until they are mature enough to survive independently. In which war was the Battle of Bosworth Field? Wars of the Roses. The Battle of Bosworth Field, fought on August 22, 1485, was a pivotal battle in the Wars of the Roses. This conflict was a series of English civil wars between the houses of Lancaster and York, and Bosworth Field effectively ended the Plantagenet dynasty, ushering in the Tudor era. Who wrote the opera Così fan tutte? Mozart. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, an influential composer of the classical era, penned Così fan tutte, Women Are Like That, an Italian-language opera buffer. Premiering in 1790, it is one of his three great collaborations with librettist Lorenzo da Ponte. Who is generally credited with having invented the telephone? Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell is widely credited with inventing the first practical telephone and founding the Bell Telephone Company. He was granted the first U.S. patent for the telephone on March 7, 1876. What is the U.S. state capital of Arizona? Phoenix. Phoenix is the capital and most populous city of the U.S. state of Arizona. It is the fifth most populous city in the United States, known for its year-round warm climate and desert landscape. In which century was the first recorded Viking raid on England? 8th century. The first recorded Viking raid on England occurred in 793 AD at the monastery of Lindisfarne, Northumbria. This event is often considered the beginning of the Viking Age in England, signaling a period of prolonged incursions and settlement. Olfactory relates to which of the senses? Smell. The olfactory system is responsible for the sense of smell. Olfactory receptors in the nasal cavity detect airborne chemical molecules, transmitting signals to the brain for interpretation as different odors. Which side of a coin is obverse, heads or tails? Heads. In numismatics, the obverse refers to the front face of a coin, often featuring the main design, such as a monarch's portrait or a national emblem. Conversely, the reverse is the back side, typically displaying the denomination or other secondary designs. Who was the first Plantagenet king of England? Henry II. Henry II was the first Plantagenet king of England, reigning from 1154 to 1189. His reign marked significant reforms in law and government, laying foundations for English common law. Which mountain was known as Peak 15 until 1865? Mount Everest. Mount Everest, the world's highest peak, was initially designated Peak 15 by the Great Trigonometrical Survey of British India. It was officially named Mount Everest in 1865 after Sir George Everest, the former Surveyor General of India, recognizing his contributions to surveying the Himalayas. Who was the Prime Minister of Britain at the start of the First World War? Herbert Asquith. Herbert Henry Asquith served as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1908 to 1916, leading the country into World War I. His government oversaw significant social reforms before the war and faced immense challenges in its early stages. In February 1967, Ronald Ryan became the last man to be hanged in which country, for murdering a guard while escaping from prison in 1965? Australia. Ronald Ryan was the last person executed by hanging in Australia, on February 3, 1967, at Pentridge Prison in Melbourne. His execution for murder sparked widespread public protests and debates, ultimately leading to the abolition of capital punishment across all Australian states. In February 1942, Antonio Oscar Carmona was re-elected as president of which European country? Portugal. Antonio Oscar Fragoso Carmona served as president of Portugal from 1926 until his death in 1951, initially through a military coup and later via uncontested elections. He presided over the Estado Novo, new state, authoritarian regime established by Antonio de Oliveira Salazar. What was the nickname of the largest fixed-wing flying boat ever built, the Hughes H-4 Hercules, flown by Howard Hughes in November 1947, for just 8 minutes, its only ever flight? The Spruce Goose. The Hughes H-4 Hercules, famously nicknamed the Spruce Goose, was a prototype heavy transport flying boat designed and built by Howard Hughes's company. Made primarily of wood due to wartime restrictions on metal, it made only one brief flight in 1947, yet remains a marvel of aviation engineering and a testament to Hughes's ambition. Who was the first person to fly solo from Hawaii to California? Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart achieved the historic feat of being the first person to fly solo from Hawaii to California in January 1935. This dangerous 2,408-mile flight across the Pacific Ocean further cemented her reputation as a pioneering aviator and an icon for women in aviation. In May 1941, who parachuted into Scotland from Germany claiming to be on a peace mission? Rudolf Hess. Rudolf Hess, a prominent Nazi Party official and deputy Führer to Adolf Hitler, made a solo flight to Scotland in May 1941, parachuting near Eaglesham. He claimed to be on a peace mission to negotiate with the Duke of Hamilton, an event that remains one of the most mysterious incidents of World War II. What was the small British militant group responsible for a series of letter bomb attacks between 1970 and 1972, whose targets included banks, embassies and the homes of Conservative MPs? The Angry Brigade. The Angry Brigade was a small, anarchist militant group active in the United Kingdom between 1970 and 1972, responsible for approximately 25 bomb attacks. Their targets, including banks, embassies, and government officials' homes, reflected their anti-establishment and anti-capitalist ideology, aiming to destabilize the state. Which American expatriate poet and author was arrested by American soldiers in Italy in May 1945 for treason? Ezra Pound. Ezra Pound, a highly influential American expatriate poet, was arrested for treason by U.S. forces in Italy in May 1945. The charges stemmed from his pro-Axis radio broadcasts during World War II, in which he criticized the United States and its allies. In June 1952, a nuclear test was held in which U.S. desert? Nevada Desert. The Nevada Test Site, now Nevada National Security Site, was a principal site for nuclear weapon testing by the United States from 1951 to 1992. The tests conducted here were crucial for the development of the US nuclear arsenal during the Cold War. Norman Rockwell's illustration of which US iconic World War II heroine appeared on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post in May 1943? Rosie the Riveter. Rosie the Riveter is a cultural icon of World War II, representing the women who worked in factories and shipyards, producing war supplies. Norman Rockwell's iconic poster became a powerful symbol of female empowerment and contributions to the war effort. What was Thornton Wilder's play performed for the first time ever in 1938 in Princeton, New Jersey? Our Town. Our Town is a three-act play by American playwright Thornton Wilder, which won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama in 1938. The play explores themes of life, love, and death in the fictional small town of Grover's Corners, New Hampshire. Who made the "I am prepared to die" speech at the opening of the Rivonia trial in April 1964? Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela delivered his famous "I am prepared to die" speech from the dock during the Rivonia trial in 1964, facing charges of sabotage. In this powerful address, Mandela defended his actions as part of the struggle for a democratic and free society in South Africa. In October 1973, who resigned as Vice President of the US, and then pleaded no contest to the charges of income tax evasion in a federal court in Baltimore? Spiro T. Agnew. Spiro T. Agnew served as the 39th Vice President of the United States under President Richard Nixon. He resigned in October 1973 amidst a corruption scandal, pleading no contest to a charge of income tax evasion, a significant event in U.S. political history. What became the name of the crime in which 11 thieves stole more than $2 million in a heist in Boston, Massachusetts, in January 1950? Great Brinks Robbery. The Great Brinks Robbery was one of the largest robberies in U.S. history at the time, occurring in Boston, Massachusetts, in January 1950. A gang of 11 men meticulously planned and executed the heist, stealing over $2 million in cash and securities. In October 1960, Dr. Michael Woodruff carried out the first successful transplant of what at the Edinburgh Royal Infirmary in the UK? Kidney. Dr. Michael Woodruff performed the first successful kidney transplant in the UK in October 1960, at the Edinburgh Royal Infirmary. This pioneering medical procedure, involving identical twins, marked a major advancement in organ transplantation. Name Britain's Minister of War, dismissed from the War Office in January 1940. Isaac Leslie Hoare Belisha. Isaac Leslie Hoare Belisha was a prominent British Liberal national politician who served as Secretary of State for War from 1937 to 1940. His dismissal by Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain in January 1940 was a significant event during the early stages of World War II, reflecting political tensions and strategic disagreements within the government. In Britain, the Education Act of March 1944 provided free water in schools to all children in the UK under the age of 18. Milk. The Education Act of 1944, also known as the Butler Act, was a landmark piece of legislation in the United Kingdom. It restructured the education system and introduced several provisions, including the widely popular initiative of providing free milk in schools to all children under 18, aiming to improve child health and welfare. The Treaty of Ware established the European Economic Community in March 1957. Rome. The Treaty of Rome, signed on March 25, 1957, by Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and West Germany, established the European Economic Community, EEC. This foundational treaty aimed to create a common market and reduce trade barriers among member states, laying the groundwork for what would eventually become the European Union. In a Los Angeles court, in March 1969, who admitted killing presidential candidate Robert Kennedy? Sirhan Sirhan. Sirhan Sirhan was convicted of the assassination of U.S. Senator Robert F. Kennedy, who was a leading presidential candidate. Kennedy was shot on June 5, 1968, shortly after winning the California primary, and died the following day. Sirhan Sirhan was found guilty in 1969, with the assassination sending shock waves through American politics. On the 15th of March 1949, the rationing of what ended in Britain? Clothes and textiles. Rationing was a significant aspect of British life during and after World War II, implemented to manage scarce resources. The end of rationing for clothes and textiles in March 1949 marked a step towards post-war recovery and a return to normalcy, though rationing for many other goods continued for several more years. Published in August 1953, what is the name of the report on sexual behavior in the human female? The Kinsey Report. The Kinsey Reports, particularly Sexual Behavior in the Human Female, 1953, were groundbreaking and controversial studies by Alfred Kinsey and his colleagues. These reports significantly influenced public discourse on sexuality and provided extensive data on human sexual practices, challenging existing societal norms and contributing to the field of sexology. Who became Prime Minister of Britain in April 1955? Anthony Eden. Anthony Eden was a prominent British Conservative politician who served as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1955 to 1957. He succeeded Winston Churchill and is notably remembered for his handling of the Suez Crisis. What is the coloring agent E102 also known as? Tartrazine. Tartrazine, E102, is a synthetic lemon yellow azo dye, primarily used as a food coloring. It is commonly found in soft drinks, confectionery, and processed foods, and its use is regulated due to potential allergic reactions in some individuals. What is the name of Israel's secret intelligence agency? Mossad. Mossad, full name Ha-Mossad Lemodin ul Tafkidam Meyuhadim, is the national intelligence agency of Israel. It is responsible for intelligence collection, covert operations, and counterterrorism globally. What was the name of the judge, known as the hanging judge, in the bloody assizes of 1685? Judge Jeffreys. George Jeffreys, 1st Baron Jeffreys, was a notorious English judge who presided over the bloody assizes in 1685. Following the Monmouth Rebellion, he condemned many rebels to death or transportation, earning him the infamous moniker, the Hanging Judge. David Balfour is the hero of which Robert Louis Stevenson novel? Kidnapped. David Balfour is the central protagonist in Robert Louis Stevenson's historical adventure novel, Kidnapped, published in 1886. The story follows his journey through Scotland after being orphaned and defrauded of his inheritance. Malpensa Airport serves which European city? Milan. Milan Malpensa Airport, MXP, is the largest international airport serving the Milan metropolitan area in northern Italy. It is a major hub for international travel and cargo, connecting passengers to destinations worldwide. Its name shared by a species of goose. What are the marine crustaceans which live attached to submerged surfaces, such as the bottoms of boats? Barnacles. Barnacles are sessile marine crustaceans that attach themselves to various submerged surfaces, including rocks, ship hulls, and marine animals. They are filter feeders and are known for their hard, calcified plates, which protect them from predators and desiccation. A lacrimator is a substance that irritates which part of the body? Eyes. A lacrimator is a chemical substance that irritates the eyes and causes tears, pain, and temporary blindness. These agents, often referred to as tear gas, are commonly used in riot control and self-defense sprays due to their incapacitating effects. The European city of Brussels lies on which river? River Seine. Brussels, the capital of Belgium and a key administrative hub for the European Union, is historically situated on the River Seine. Although much of the river is now canalized and covered within the urban landscape, it played a vital role in the city's early development and growth. Mutter is the Indian term for which type of foodstuff? Peas. Mutter is the Hindi word for peas, widely used in Indian cuisine. It commonly appears in the names of popular dishes such as aloo mutter, potatoes and peas, and mutter paneer, peas and cottage cheese, reflecting its staple status in regional cooking. The abominable snowman is said to inhabit which mountain range? Himalayas. The abominable snowman, famously known as the Yeti, is a mythical ape-like creature central to the folklore of the Himalayas. Its legend is deeply entrenched in the cultures of Nepal and Tibet, adding to the mystique of the world's highest mountain range. How many square yards are in a UK acre? 4,840. An acre is a traditional unit of land area commonly used in the imperial system. Specifically, 1 acre is equivalent to 4,840 square yards, a measurement frequently referenced in land surveying and real estate, particularly in the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth nations. An aileron is found on which part of an aircraft? Wing. An aileron is a critical flight control surface positioned on the trailing edge of an aircraft's wing. Its primary function is to control the roll of the aircraft, enabling it to bank and turn efficiently during flight maneuvers. In needlework, what is the technique in which pieces of fabric are attached to another piece of material for decoration? Applique. Applique is a decorative needlework technique where smaller pieces of fabric are sewn or affixed onto a larger base fabric. This ancient craft is used to create intricate designs, patterns, or images, embellishing textiles, clothing, and quilts across various cultures. What is the croup of an animal, such as a horse? Rump. The croup of an animal, particularly noticeable in horses, refers to the muscular region over the hindquarters, extending from the hip joints to the base of the tail. It is a significant anatomical landmark used in veterinary science and animal husbandry for assessment and identification. A sesquicentenary is an anniversary of how many years? 250. A sesquicentenary marks an anniversary of 250 years. This term is used to commemorate significant historical events, institutional foundations, or notable milestones that have reached 2.5 centuries since their occurrence. A caryatid is a supporting column or pillar of a building carved in the shape of what? Woman. A caryatid is an architectural feature where a sculptured female figure serves as a supporting column or pillar. Originating in ancient Greece, the most famous examples can be found at the Erechtheion on the Acropolis in Athens. What island nation suffered a serious cholera outbreak in late 2010, partly as a consequence of a major earthquake in January the same year? Haiti. Haiti experienced a devastating earthquake in January 2010, which severely damaged infrastructure and healthcare systems. The subsequent cholera outbreak in late 2010 further exacerbated the humanitarian crisis, highlighting the vulnerabilities of post-disaster recovery efforts and public health. Greenland is a self-governing territory of which country? Denmark. Greenland is the world's largest island and an autonomous constituent country within the Kingdom of Denmark. While it exercises extensive self-government, Denmark maintains control over foreign affairs, defense, and monetary policy, underscoring its unique political status. What high-tech manufacturing corporation agreed to buy the security software company McAfee for $7.7 billion in summer 2010? Intel. In 2010, Intel acquired McAfee, a leading security software company, in a strategic move to integrate security features directly into its hardware and expand its software offerings. This acquisition highlighted the growing importance of cybersecurity in the technology sector. What African country, south of Libya, west of Sudan, and east of Niger, has the capital N'Djamena? Chad. Chad is a large, landlocked country in Central Africa, known for its diverse geography, encompassing parts of the Sahara Desert and the Sahelian Belt. Its capital, N'Djamena, serves as a significant economic and cultural hub in the region. What ancient World Heritage Site in Italy collapsed in November 2010? Pompeii's House of the Gladiators. The House of the Gladiators, Scola Armatuarum, in Pompeii, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, collapsed in 2010, raising significant concerns about the preservation of the ancient city. This incident sparked international debate over funding and maintenance strategies for archaeological sites. What music and dance style, associated with early gypsy artists, is believed to have taken its name from an elegant bird and the distinctive appearance of its performers? Flamenco. Flamenco is a highly expressive Spanish art form encompassing song, cant, dance, baile, and guitar playing, toque. Originating from Andalusia, it is deeply rooted in Romani culture and recognized by UNESCO as a masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity. Name the German manufacturer of World War II fighter planes which pioneered the microcar. Messerschmitt. Messerschmitt, a prominent German aircraft manufacturer during World War II, adapted its engineering expertise to produce economical small vehicles, known as microcars or bubble cars, in the post-war era. This diversification was a response to restrictions on aircraft production and the demand for affordable transportation. Sony announced in 2010 that which iconic device would cease production after April 2011? The Walkman. The Sony Walkman, first launched in 1979, revolutionized personal music consumption globally. Its discontinuation in 2011 marked a significant shift in the consumer electronics market, reflecting the rise of digital music players and streaming technologies. What is the fruit of the blackthorn tree? Sloe. The sloe is the small, dark blue-black fruit of the blackthorn tree, Prunus spinosa. Known for its distinctively tart and astringent taste, sloes are commonly used in the production of sloe gin, jams, and other preserves. The Cathedral of St. Mary, once the largest church in the world and believed burial place of Christopher Columbus, is located in which city, by whose name it is better known? Seville. Seville Cathedral, formerly known as the Cathedral of St. Mary of the Sea, is a magnificent Gothic cathedral and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is renowned for its immense scale and for housing the tomb of the explorer Christopher Columbus. Which U.S. state has the longest coastline? Alaska. Alaska, the largest U.S. state by land area, boasts the longest coastline of any state, extending approximately 6,640 miles. When including all islands, bays, and inlets, its shoreline measures over 33,900 miles, far exceeding that of all other U.S. states combined. According to a November 2010 report by the UK Independent Scientific Committee on Drugs, what was identified as the most dangerous drug based on a comprehensive study across 9 categories of harmful effects? Alcohol. A seminal 2010 report by the UK Independent Scientific Committee on Drugs, published in The Lancet, ranked alcohol as the most harmful drug overall when considering both individual and societal harms. This comprehensive study evaluated 20 different drugs across 16 measures of harm, highlighting the significant public health burden associated with alcohol consumption. Whose memoir, Decision Points, was published in late 2010? George W. Bush. Decision Points is a memoir authored by George W. Bush, the 43rd President of the United States, published in November 2010. The book offers a personal account of key decisions and events throughout his life and 2 terms in office, providing insight into his presidency. What is the medical term hallux valgus commonly known as? Bunions. Hallux valgus is a deformity of the joint connecting the big toe to the foot, causing the big toe to bend outwards and form a bump or bunion. This condition is often hereditary but can be exacerbated by ill-fitting footwear. A 2010 space survey by astronomers using the Keck telescope on Mauna Kea, Hawaii, indicated a likelihood of how many Earth-like planets in the universe? 50 billion. A 2010 survey utilizing the Keck telescope estimated a vast number of Earth-like planets in the universe, highlighting the immense scale of cosmic diversity. While estimates evolve with new data, this discovery significantly advanced the understanding of exoplanet prevalence and the potential for life beyond Earth. In anatomy, the dorsum is better known as which part of the body? Back. In anatomy, dorsum refers to the posterior or upper surface of a body part. It is commonly used to describe the back of the human body, but can also refer to the back of the hand or foot. Understanding such precise anatomical terminology is crucial in medical and biological fields. In 1947, who was the first person to break the sound barrier? Chuck Yeager. Chuck Yeager, an American test pilot, became the first person to officially break the sound barrier on October 14, 1947. Flying the Bell X-1 experimental rocket plane, this monumental achievement marked a pivotal moment in aviation history, paving the way for supersonic flight. Meaning, heavenly woman, from the Greek word after which an element and planet are named. Who was the Greek muse of astronomy? Urania. Urania is one of the 9 muses in Greek mythology, specifically associated with astronomy and celestial navigation. Her name, meaning heavenly, is derived from the Greek word for sky, which also gave rise to the planet Uranus and the element uranium. She represents the pursuit of knowledge through observation of the cosmos. What type of creature is a noctule? Bat. A noctule is a genus of bats, specifically belonging to the family Vespertilionidae. Noctule bats are known for their relatively large size among European bats and are typically forest dwellers, emerging at dusk to hunt insects in flight. What is the typical flower color of the milk thistle? Purple. The milk thistle, Silybum marinum, is a flowering herbaceous plant native to southern Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. It is characterized by its distinctive purple flower heads and spiny leaves, and is well known for its medicinal properties, particularly for liver health. The distinctive twisted tusk protruding from a unicorn's head is often associated with which real-life Arctic sea creature? Narwhal. The narwhal, Monodon monoceros, is an Arctic whale species renowned for its long, straight, helical tusk, which is an elongated canine tooth. Historically, these tusks were traded as unicorn horns, and contributed to the myth of the unicorn, believed to possess magical and medicinal properties. On which major river is the city of Astrakhan located? River Volga. Astrakhan is a significant city in southern Russia, situated on the Volga River delta, where the river empties into the Caspian Sea. Its strategic location at the crossroads of Europe and Asia has historically made it an important trading port and a center for fishing and caviar production. Which former U.S. president, commonly referred to by his initials, was born in Stonewall, Texas, in 1908? Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson, often known as LBJ, served as the 36th President of the United States from 1963 to 1969. Born and raised in rural Texas, he rose through the ranks of Congress and is primarily remembered for his Great Society, domestic programs and his escalation of U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. Which major European airport is identified by the ITA code LHR? London Heathrow Airport. London Heathrow Airport, LHR, is a principal international airport serving London, United Kingdom. As one of the world's busiest airports by international passenger traffic, it serves as a major hub for global travel and an essential gateway to Europe. By what name is the English novelist Elizabeth Cleghorn Stevenson more widely known? Mrs. Gaskell. Elizabeth Gaskell, commonly referred to as Mrs. Gaskell, was a prominent Victorian novelist known for her social novels, including Mary Barton and North and South. Her works often explored the lives of the poor and the industrial conditions of 19th-century England, providing insightful commentary on social issues. Gregory's powder, a traditional laxative, was primarily formulated using which leafy plant? Rhubarb. Gregory's powder, also known as Pulvus Rye compositus, was a historical pharmaceutical preparation used as a laxative and antacid. Its primary active ingredient was powdered rhubarb root, known for its purgative properties due to compounds like anthraquinones, often combined with ginger and magnesium carbonate. By what more common name is the Bamalo fish known? Bombay duck. The Bamalo, Harpdon nereus, is a species of lizardfish found in the Indo-Pacific region, especially prevalent in the waters off the coast of Mumbai, formerly Bombay, India. It is popularly known as Bombay duck, particularly in its dried and cured form, where it is a delicacy and a significant part of regional cuisine. What was the medieval form of chemistry concerned with attempting to change base metals into gold? Alchemy. Alchemy was an ancient practice blending chemistry, philosophy, and metallurgy, primarily aiming to transmute base metals into gold and discover the elixir of life. It laid some foundational groundwork for modern chemistry, even though its ultimate goals were not scientifically achievable. In the UK, who was elected President of the National Union of Mine Workers in 1981? Arthur Scargill. Arthur Scargill was a prominent British trade union leader, best known for his leadership of the National Union of Mine Workers during the 1984-85 miners' strike. His election in 1981 marked a significant point in British industrial relations, leading up to one of the most contentious industrial disputes in UK history. What is the device in a car which mixes petrol with air in correct proportions before it enters the engine? Carburetor. A carburetor is a device that blends air and fuel for internal combustion engines. It ensures the correct mixture of petrol, gasoline, and air for combustion, crucial for the engine's efficient operation. Referring to a mountain range, derived from the Spanish word for so, what word represents the letter S in the NATO phonetic alphabet? Sierra. Sierra is the word representing the letter S in the NATO phonetic alphabet, used for clear communication. The term itself is Spanish for so, and commonly refers to a mountain range with a jagged, saw-like profile, linking it to geographical terminology. What is the basic monetary unit of Australia? Australian dollar. The Australian dollar, AUD, is the official currency of Australia, including its external territories, and several Pacific Island nations. It is one of the world's most traded currencies, serving as a stable economic indicator for the region. The Dittifoss waterfalls are in which country? Iceland. Dittifoss is a powerful waterfall located on the Jökulsá á Fjöllum River in northeast Iceland, part of the Vatnajökull National Park. It is known as Europe's most powerful waterfall by volume, showcasing significant geological activity. Which city, whose name means fortification at Iden, was the first to host the Commonwealth Games twice? Edinburgh. Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland, holds the distinction of being the first city to host the Commonwealth Games twice, in 1970 and 1986. Its name, Fortification at Iden, reflects its historical strategic importance and ancient origins. Valletta is the capital of which European country? Malta. Valletta is the capital city of Malta, a small island nation in the Mediterranean Sea. Known for its rich history and Baroque architecture, the entire city has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In the Bible's Old Testament book of Proverbs, what is described as being more precious than rubies, better than silver and gold, and incomparable to all desired things? Wisdom. The book of Proverbs in the Old Testament is a collection of moral and ethical teachings, often presented as proverbs or maxims. It emphasizes the importance of wisdom, righteousness, and the fear of God for a virtuous life, contrasting wisdom with foolishness and highlighting its supreme value. What is the process that removes hair and minor blemishes from the body by applying heat using an electric current? Electrolysis. Electrolysis is a hair removal method that uses a fine probe inserted into the hair follicle, delivering a small electrical current to destroy the hair root. It is considered a permanent hair removal technique often used for unwanted facial and body hair. What is the edible sea snail from the genus Halotus, characterized by an ear-shaped shell with a pearly interior? Abalone. Abalone refers to a group of marine gastropod mollusks from the family Haliatidae, known for their flattened, ear-shaped shells with an iridescent interior. These sea snails are highly prized as a culinary delicacy in many parts of the world. In which ancient country did the fundamental philosophical and devotional epic stories, the Mahabharata and Ramayana, originate in Sanskrit? India. The Mahabharata and Ramayana are two of the most important ancient Sanskrit epics of India, deeply influencing Indian culture, religion, and philosophy. They recount tales of dharma, duty, sacrifice, and justice, shaping moral values and spiritual beliefs for millennia. Which tribe of ancient Britons from eastern England had Boudica, also known as Boadicea, as their queen? Iceni. The Iceni were an ancient British tribe who inhabited parts of what is now Norfolk and Suffolk. They are most famous for their rebellion against Roman rule in 60-61 AD, led by their queen Boudica, following the Roman occupation of Britain. What is the capital city of Ghana? Accra. Accra is the capital and largest city of Ghana, located on the Atlantic coast of West Africa. It serves as the country's economic, administrative, and cultural hub, with a rich history influenced by various European colonial powers. Which African antelope species is known for the male's distinctive lyre-shaped horns? Impala. The impala, Apus melampus, is a medium-sized African antelope native to savannas and woodlands. Males are easily identifiable by their slender, ridged, and S-shaped, lyre-shaped horns, which can grow up to 90 centimeters long. What numerical value does the Roman numeral LXXXVIII represent? 88. Roman numerals are a numerical system that originated in ancient Rome. LXXXVIII breaks down as L, 50, XXX, 30, and 8, 8, summing up to 88. This system was used throughout the Roman Empire for counting, arithmetic, and dating. What is the code of silence observed by the mafia, which strictly prohibits speaking about or divulging information regarding criminal activities? Omerta. Omerta is a code of honor and silence prevalent in certain criminal organizations, particularly the mafia. It dictates absolute non-cooperation with authorities, even when wronged, emphasizing self-reliance and vengeance over seeking external justice. What is a bottomless pit or chasm, a very deep gorge, or a reference to something unfathomable and usually threatening or chaotic, such as hell? Abyss. An abyss refers to an extremely deep chasm or void, often implying an immeasurable depth or a profound, unfathomable entity. The term is used metaphorically to describe something chaotic, threatening, or beyond comprehension. What is a three-dimensional figure with 8 plane faces? Octahedron. An octahedron is a polyhedron composed of 8 faces, typically triangular, meeting at a common vertex. It is one of the 5 Platonic solids, known for its symmetrical properties in 3-dimensional geometry. What is the inner and larger of the 2 bones in the human forearm? Ulna. The ulna is one of the 2 long bones in the forearm, extending from the elbow to the wrist on the side opposite the thumb. It plays a crucial role in providing stability to the forearm and facilitating various movements of the hand and wrist. What is the scarlet banner of Saint Denis used by early French kings when setting out for war? Oriflamme. The Oriflamme was the sacred battle standard of the kings of France in the Middle Ages, associated with the Abbey of Saint Denis. Its presence signified that no quarter would be given, serving as a powerful symbol of national and religious defiance in battle. Before the euro, what was the basic monetary unit of Portugal? Escudo. The Portuguese escudo was the official currency of Portugal from 1911 until 2002, when it was replaced by the euro. Its introduction followed the establishment of the Portuguese Republic, replacing the real. What is the play by Shakespeare featuring the court jester Touchstone? As You Like It. As You Like It is a pastoral comedy by William Shakespeare, first published in the first folio in 1623. The play explores themes of love, disguise, and redemption, famously featuring the witty and philosophical court jester Touchstone. What is the 15th letter of the Greek alphabet? Omicron. Omicron is the 15th letter of the Greek alphabet, represented as Omicron, uppercase, and Omicron, lowercase. In the Greek numerical system, it has a value of 70. The term has gained modern prominence as the designation for a variant of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. What means relating to or similar to bears? Ursine. Ursine is an adjective derived from Latin, used to describe anything pertaining to or resembling bears. This term is part of zoological classification and general vocabulary, often used in scientific contexts. What is the final and longest section of the human small intestine? Ileum. The ileum is the final and longest section of the human small intestine, extending from the jejunum to the ileocecal valve. Its primary functions include the absorption of vitamin B12, bile salts, and any remaining nutrients that were not absorbed in the jejunum. What is the lair of a fox? Earth. In zoology, an earth refers specifically to the burrow or den of a fox. This term is part of specialized vocabulary used to describe the dwellings of various wild animals, distinguishing it from general terms for animal homes. What is a word made from the initials of other words in a phrase or sequence? Acronym. An acronym is an abbreviation formed from the initial letters of other words and pronounced as a word, such as NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It is distinct from an initialism, which is pronounced letter by letter. The Royal Navy flagship aircraft carrier, which along with its Harrier jump jets was withdrawn from service late 2010, is HMS what? Ark Royal. HMS Ark Royal was a revered aircraft carrier of the Royal Navy, holding a significant place in British naval history. Its decommissioning in late 2010, alongside the retirement of its Harrier jump jets, marked a pivotal shift in the UK's defence capabilities and naval strategy. Which Cuban dictator was overthrown by Fidel Castro in 1959? Batista. Fulgencio Batista was the authoritarian dictator of Cuba who was overthrown by Fidel Castro's 26th of July movement during the Cuban Revolution in 1959. His regime was characterized by corruption, repression, and close ties to the United States, leading to widespread popular discontent and the eventual success of the revolutionary forces. What color is the cross on the national flag of Finland? Blue. The national flag of Finland, known as Siniristilippu, the Blue Cross flag, features a blue Nordic cross on a white background. The blue color traditionally symbolizes the country's numerous lakes and the sky, while white represents the snow and the bright summer nights. A statue of which British Prime Minister stands outside Huddersfield railway station? Harold Wilson. Harold Wilson served as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom twice, from 1964 to 1970 and again from 1974 to 1976. A prominent Labour politician, he represented Huddersfield from 1945 to 1950 before moving to the Huyton constituency. Medoc is a wine region in which country? France. Medoc is a renowned wine region situated on the left bank of the Garonne estuary in Bordeaux, southwestern France. It is celebrated for its Cabernet Sauvignon dominant red wines, particularly those classified as Grand Cru class. What geographical feature is shared by the 9 nations of Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Bolivia, Guyana, Suriname and French Guiana? The Amazon rainforest. The Amazon rainforest is the world's largest tropical rainforest, spanning across 9 South American countries. It is critical for global climate regulation and biodiversity, housing an unparalleled variety of plant and animal species. Marnie Geneva Dodd was the wife of which U.S. president, the country's 34th? Dwight D. Eisenhower. Mamie Geneva Dodd Eisenhower was the First Lady of the United States from 1953 to 1961, during the presidency of her husband, Dwight D. Eisenhower. Her dignified presence and personable style made her a popular public figure during her time in the White House. In June 1935, which well-known but discreet support organization was founded by William G. Wilson and Dr. Robert Smith in Akron, Ohio? Alcoholics Anonymous. Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, is an international fellowship founded in 1935 with the primary purpose of helping individuals recover from alcoholism. It operates through a 12-step program and peer support, emphasizing spiritual and personal growth. A Hazan, or Chazan, leads the congregation in songful prayer in which religion? Jewish. A Hazan, also known as a cantor, is a trained vocalist and prayer leader in Judaism who officiates at services in the synagogue. Their role involves leading the congregation in prayer, chanting, and often delivering musical interpretations of liturgical texts. Which artist's studio was known as the Factory? Andy Warhol. The Factory was the name of Andy Warhol's New York City studio, which operated from 1964 to 1987. It became a famous cultural hub for artists, musicians, writers, and various counterculture figures. Who wrote the 1899 poem, song lyrics, The Absent-Minded Beggar, which was set to music and used to raise money for British Boer War soldiers? Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling wrote The Absent-Minded Beggar in 1899, with music by Sir Arthur Sullivan. This patriotic poem and song was immensely popular and successfully raised funds for the families of British soldiers fighting in the Second Boer War. Which cheese was reputedly invented by French farmer's wife, Marie Hale, in 1791? Camembert. Camembert cheese is famously attributed to Marie Hale, a farmer's wife from Normandy, France, in 1791. This soft, creamy cheese gained popularity after being presented to Emperor Napoleon III, becoming a staple of French culinary heritage. If an insect is micropterous, what anatomical feature does it possess in a small or reduced form? Wings. The term, micropterous, in entomology describes insects that have small or reduced wings. This condition can be a result of genetic factors or environmental adaptations, impacting the insect's ability to fly or its flight range. Which strait separates Wales from the island of Anglesey? Menai Strait. The Menai Strait is a narrow stretch of shallow tidal water that separates the island of Anglesey from the mainland of Wales. It is crossed by two notable bridges, the Menai Suspension Bridge and the Britannia Bridge, both crucial transport links. According to the Bible, in which river did Pharaoh's daughter find the baby Moses in a basket? River Nile. The biblical narrative recounts that Pharaoh's daughter discovered the infant Moses in a basket among the reeds of the river Nile. This discovery is a foundational event in the Exodus story, leading to Moses' upbringing in the Egyptian royal court. In which country, the world's seventh largest by geographical area, is Christmas known as Bada Din, the Big Day? India. India, the world's seventh largest country by land area, celebrates Christmas, which is often referred to as Bada Diyan or the Big Day in Hindi. Although a minority religion, Christmas is celebrated with enthusiasm in various parts of India, particularly in Christian-majority states. Christmas Island, located in the Indian Ocean, is a territory of which country? Australia. Christmas Island is a small Australian external territory located in the Indian Ocean, known for its unique biodiversity and annual red crab migration. Its strategic location makes it significant for Australia's maritime claims and environmental management. What numerical name is used in Britain for the day known elsewhere as Three Kings Day? Twelfth Night. In Britain, the traditional end of the Christmas season, observed on January 5th or 6th, is known as Twelfth Night. This day is associated with the Christian feast of the Epiphany, Three Kings Day, and historically marked the start of the preparation for Lent. The North Pole is located in which ocean? Arctic Ocean. The North Pole, the northernmost point on Earth, is situated in the middle of the Arctic Ocean. Unlike the South Pole, which is on a continental landmass, the North Pole is covered by a constantly shifting sheet of sea ice. Marzipan is made, conventionally in the Western world, mainly from sugar and the flour or meal of which nut? Almond. Marzipan is a confection primarily made from sugar, honey, and ground almonds. Its origins are debated, but it has been a popular sweet in Europe for centuries, particularly during festive seasons, valued for its distinctive flavor and pliable texture. What is the technical name of the mistletoe plant genus, and also Latin for glutinous? Wascum. Wascum is the genus of flowering plants that includes mistletoe, a hemiparasitic plant known for its sticky berries. The name, wascum, is Latin for sticky, or glutinous, referring to the viscid pulp of its berries, which was historically used to make birdlime. Which American-born English poet, whose first names were Thomas Stearns, wrote the poem, The Cultivation of Christmas Trees? T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot, a Nobel laureate in literature, is renowned for his modernist poetry and plays. The Cultivation of Christmas Trees is one of his lesser-known works, a contemplative poem reflecting on the significance and personal memories associated with Christmas traditions. Which Christmas slogan was introduced by Clarissa Baldwin of Dogs Trust in 1978? A dog is for life, not just for Christmas. This famous slogan was launched by Clarissa Baldwin of the Dogs Trust in 1978. It aims to prevent impulse pet purchases during the festive season, emphasizing the significant long-term commitment and responsibility involved in dog ownership. Which British monarch, born 1865, died 1936, introduced the custom of giving thousands of Christmas puddings to staff? King George V. King George V, who reigned from 1910 to 1936, established the tradition of giving thousands of Christmas puddings to royal staff and household employees. This gesture became a symbol of festive goodwill and recognition of service within the royal household.